Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing this Wednesday, July 15th. During our most recent county budget adoption, modest funding was earmarked for immigration legal services for undocumented individuals who are incarcerated at the Monterey County Jail. We're going to find out more about this project. We're very pleased to have Tom O'Keefe. He's the Chief Assistant Public Defender, and he's going to tell us a bit about this program. Tom, thanks very much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. The County of Monterey Public Defender's Office is proud to begin implementing new immigration legal services for individuals who are detained at the Monterey County Jail. We're grateful to our Board of Supervisors for providing the funding necessary to make this important initiative possible. Their support reflects a commitment to protecting the integrity of the legal process and ensuring that individuals have meaningful access to legal counsel at critical points in their cases. My office has already begun working to implement this new program. We've had very positive initial conversations with the Sheriff's Office. We appreciate their willingness to work collaboratively on the issue. We're developing procedures that we think are both practical and effective. Many of the operational details are still being worked out, so I can't get too into the weeds on what we are going to be doing, but everyone involved does share the common goal of creating a process that will serve the public fairly and efficiently. And so that's a really positive initial step. The purpose of this program is straightforward. We want to provide individuals in Monterey County Jail with an opportunity to consult with a qualified immigration attorney before they're transferred to federal immigration authorities. These consultations, they'll occur before transfer takes place. They'll give individuals an opportunity to receive legal advice at a time really when the guidance can be the most meaningful to them. What we anticipate is that during a consultation, individuals will receive advice regarding their legal rights, their options, the immigration process itself. They'll also have an opportunity to determine whether they may qualify for certain forms of immigration relief. They'll be able to make informed decisions regarding their interactions with federal immigration authorities, which is really important. They'll also be given a chance to address important personal matters, such as communicating with family members, making arrangements for children or other dependents that are still here in the community. So ultimately, this program really is about an access to legal counsel, due process, and informed decision-making. And it's our intent that all the individuals have an opportunity to understand their rights and the legal consequences that they face. Again, we're grateful to our Board of Supervisors for providing the resources that are necessary to make this possible and for recognizing the importance of protecting the legal process. We also appreciate the Sheriff's Office and their willingness to work collaboratively with us as we move forward to implement this new program.
Thanks very much for walking through the kind of the umbrella look at what this is. And I know that people in the community, when they heard about the funding, were wondering, what does it really mean? And you use the words consult. And oftentimes, as a public defender, you or your staff take on cases, and these are two very different things. And I was hoping you might talk about really the difference between your normal work, which is advocating and being an attorney for someone who may be incarcerated, and this.
Sure. So I think when a lot of people think about the public defender's office, they really think about us being in court. And that is really the bread and butter of our department, representing folks who are in court, who have been charged with a crime, and working their way through the criminal justice system. This is a little different. This is for individuals who have moved past that stage in their proceedings. And really what we're there for this purpose is to ensure that these folks are aware of their rights and ensuring that due process is upheld and that any decisions that they do make are informed, that they know what their rights are, and that they can ensure that they have the opportunity to exercise those rights when dealing with federal immigration officers.
And the program funding for this kind of a pilot first year was very modest. So it's not like you could be in court with someone, having a full-time attorney there. I mean, the funding isn't there for that. This is really kind of to get you started, do you anticipate you might, is this a way to look and see in maybe the years to come whether you might need a little bit more or just the funding to suit?
I think as we begin to walk down this new road for our office, we're going to kind of just have to see where it takes us, see what the needs are, see what the community needs are, see what the clients need, and we'll be in a better position, I think, to assess that after we have the opportunity to see exactly what it is that we're getting in from the sheriff's office.
Tom, thanks very much for just sharing the outcome, the beginnings of the baby steps of your program. We know we heard about it during the budget hearings, and it's really great to hear where you are now and then, where it's going in the next year. And I hope we'll be hearing back from you during the budget session next time to find out all about it.
Sounds great. I'd be happy to come back and give an update as we move forward and see what the program becomes. I'm excited.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate your time today.
Of course.
Navigating health and safe relationships is challenging at any age, but for youth and teens, dating violence is real. Our health department is very fortunate to have teen dating violence prevention programs that focus on reducing that violence. And there's also support for parents who may want to help a teen or young person in their life. We're very pleased to have Julia Muruato with our County of Monterey Health Department. She's going to go over this program and talk about where people can get some resources and maybe even a call to action. Hi, Julia.
Hi, thank you for having me. If it's okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen for your
Please do.
audience to see. Great. So today we're highlighting our Safe Dates Trusted Adult campaign. And some folks might already be familiar with this campaign if you follow the health department on Instagram or on Facebook in our Spanish or English accounts. And this campaign, the social media campaign, is funded through a CDC grant that we currently have called Prevail. It's a collaboration or partnership through two programs run through the health department in our chronic disease and injury prevention division. So through our formerly our youth teen pregnancy prevention program, now our youth empowerment or teen empowerment program, and our Strive youth violence prevention program. So a collaborative effort between these two programs and our coordinators running these programs. We support or have supported health teachers through a previous grant with the CDC to implement and comply with the California Healthy Youth Act, where our youth in the state of California are required to receive comprehensive sex education once in middle school and once in high school. And so this training, Safe Dates training, was provided to health teachers in Salinas Unified High School districts. And we continue to support them as they implement this curriculum through our Safe Dates campaign. So students complete the Safe Dates curriculum, and then at the end of everything that they've learned about healthy relationships and being a good friend and what that looks like, they create either posters or video summaries of the concepts and themes that they've discussed in school in their classes. And our hope is that this campaign then translates into home spaces. So not just what they're learning in schools, but ultimately what conversations are being sparked with their parents, caregivers, adults in their lives. So these are some examples of some of the concepts that students walk away with and understanding trust, boundary setting, relationship themes, and what we can expect and hope for our youth in Monterey County. We focus our Trusted Adult campaign, our parent campaign, in the month of February specifically for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And these post examples are what you will have been exposed to if you're following our health department or if you've seen this through our boosting efforts. This highlights, again, the youth artwork or videos and artwork, and then also provides sort of themes, tips on how to start having those uncomfortable sometimes conversations, especially if adults in Monterey County didn't have these conversations when they were young with the adults in their lives. So it's really meant to be a sort of quick tip, quick guide while youth are also learning about this in school, in their health classes. We link parents to local and national resources to continue their education. So if they are interested in learning more about these topics and not just through a quick summary through our social media campaign and sites. We also in the past have offered Askable Adult 101 sessions. And so these sessions range about an hour. They can be multiple days where youth are with their parents or parents are alone in a workshop, and they practice and discuss what conversations look like with youth around dating and sexual health topics. And we review some of these examples together with the group. So these Askable Adult presentations were not previously as well attended as we had hoped. And so I think our sort of ask for the public is letting our health department staff know what format would be most supportive to Monterey County adults. If they cannot commit to a 3-day workshop, right? Or a 1-hour workshop, this Trusted Adult Safe Dates campaign that runs through the month of February is an attempt to help start those conversations and help our adults feel a little bit more equipped in those conversation starters. But so I'll go ahead and pause there and thank you for letting us highlight the campaign.
Great. And sorry, I didn't jump in because I wasn't sure if that was the last slide. So I didn't want to jump in and ruin the flow of your program. So it's interesting. First, I'm going to stop your sharing so that we can talk about this. Great presentation. It's interesting that the youth are so involved. They're getting the coursework, they're doing artwork, they're expressing themselves. I wonder if you're hearing from them, the feedback is, why are they needing this particular information from school or elsewhere? Do they not have maybe role models that can, give them the information that they need? Are they wondering about, is this influencer right? Or who would I talk to? Do they just not feel there's any place to go for the kind of information they're looking for?
Yeah, I would agree anecdotally when we're in classes or supporting with the California Healthy Youth Act comprehensive sex ed classes. That is a common theme that youth will share, is this is not something that they can talk about at home or in home spaces. And so we'd like to help support parents and normalize that and change that sort of experience that maybe parents have currently.
And you mentioned it was an ask to find out from parents what type of support they could use because, kids don't come with a manual of instruction, and a lot of parents may not know, how far do I go talking about this? Is it too much? Is it not enough? What would you ask of parents to contact the health department and tell you, what do you want to hear from them?
Yeah, so it's hard to capture my contact information, but if folks wanted to reach out to my email address from the community and had specific recommendations in terms of formatting is really the ask. So we want to know what parents are looking for, or organizations or school sites are looking for in terms of parent support. Maybe it's video snippets. There are organizations who have already done a lot of really great work in giving those 3-minute instructional videos, and that's kind of what parents are at capacity for. Or maybe folks would like to try again with those longer several day formats or conferences or summits, and that's sort of the ask. But we'd like to see a consensus and a count really for for parent and adult caregivers.
It could also be something as simple as I'm uncomfortable sitting down and having this conversation with my kid. How do I start? What's my family icebreaker, in this? Because I don't want to start off on the wrong foot because, as we all know, if you've ever talked to a child, your own child or something else, the first outing of the topic is the most important because if you start good, it'll end good. If you're awkward at the beginning, it may not go the way you wish. So I'm sure there are a lot of parents out there who just wonder, how do I start?
Yeah, and honestly, making mistakes the first time, first 2 to 3 times is very common in these parent or askable adult presentations, and recognizing, we mess up and we fail in our responses, and that's part of it. And how can we improve and start to feel more comfortable and remember that thing we wish we had said differently.
Julia, thanks so much for sharing about the program. It's just a great program, and we'll provide contact information for you after the briefing for our partners. And I see folks from the health department on, and I'm sure they're taking notes about how they can support your ask as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. All right, our final topic, last but not least, July is National Parks Month. We're celebrating right here in the county of Monterey with some really fun activities. If you love hiking or bird watching or both of them together, or you want to give them a try, we've got a great opportunity coming up. We're very pleased to have our Chief of Parks, Bryan Flores, here to give us a rundown of the events that are happening at Toro Park later this month.
Great. Thank you, Maya. Sound check. Okay.
Got it.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And thank you for listening to us speak about the National Parks and Recreation Month. It's something that's been going on for many, many decades. And county parks, in conjunction with a number of our sister park agencies and health agencies, are putting on a free community event at Toro Park on July 26th. The main event will be from 12 to 3, and there is an earlier event taking place adjacent to Toro Park at Mark's Ranch, which is some of it is Big Sur Land Trust property. So I'm going to show the flyers right now, Maya, if I can share the screen.
Oh, yes, you can. I was just looking to pull them up too, but if you can, that's super.
Okay, let's see.
If you can't, I can.
Let's share that one first. Okay, everybody can see the Parks
It's
and Rec.
thinking.
It's thinking.
There it is.
Okay, perfect. So there's the flyer for the overall event. So Sunday, July 26th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is the Explore Mark's Ranch. And Mark's Ranch, it's part of it's the original ranch where part of Toro Park came from. And there's a really great story that the owner, the husband passed away, the wife, she was running the ranch as a chicken farm, and she got I believe it was during World War I. She got a government contract to supply the government with eggs, to make powdered eggs to ship overseas for the troops. And I don't want to say overnight, but she became a millionaire overnight by doing so. It's a really neat property. There's a hacienda, a really great Spanish style adobe house out on the property, as well as a really unique pond and no water in it. And then a succulent garden behind the hacienda. And so Big Sur Land Trust is going to be leading some very easy hikes out to the hacienda to look at some of the historic structures and to talk about the land out there. It will be a great time, and they always put on a great hike. They're doing that in conjunction with the Audubon Society and the Mark's Ranch History Group. So there's that. And then from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., there is the main event at Toro Park, and this will take place in the Badger Field area. It's the big grass area when you come into the park. And we'll have different groups I'm going to stop sharing here. We'll have different groups from The Park RX, it's not really an organization, but it's a loose county group of both health and park providers. Um, and with the Park RX program, your healthcare provider can actually prescribe park activities, hiking, walking, getting outdoors as part of your treatment program for whatever ails you, or just for overall general health and well-being. So let me pull up who they will be. So we're going to have Salinas Valley Health, Montage Health, County of Monterey Health Department. Those will be the healthcare providers. County Parks, of course, will be there, as well as the Monterey Off-Road Cycling Association, or MORCA. The Monterey County Regional Fire District will be there. Bureau of Land Management, BLM, our partner across the highway there with the Four-Door National Monument. Ventana Wildlife Society, Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District, and the Big Sur Land Trust. And so we'll each have a booth. There'll be things, all kinds of games to play. There's going to be some yoga and some Zumba and led hikes throughout the Toro Trail system, as well as we'll put up some disc golf baskets, and the kids can throw discs in the golf baskets. It's a great time. We had our inaugural event last year, and we've expanded it this year. So yeah, bring a blanket and your picnic and come and have a great time at the park.
Well, and it's a great that you're putting up that disc golf, because that is a kind of fairly new thing at another park, and people may not have had a chance to go and try it and see kind of how fun it really is.
That was a great segue, Maya, because coming up on September 12th is our 60th anniversary of Royal Oaks Park. And Royal Oaks Park was the first county regional park that was established in 1966 on Labor Day weekend. Current Supervisor Church, his father was there. I believe he was chair of the board that year. And our current Supervisor Church was just a little guy standing next to his dad. And so it's kind of come full circle in that Supervisor Church will be there as a grown man now, celebrating a park that he and his father worked tirelessly for back in the day. So that's coming up. More information will come out about that, but it will be September 12th. We're looking at having a disc golf tournament, a closest to the pin contest, possibly a soccer shootout, music, food, fun, festivities. It'll be a great time. So
So everyone can mark their calendars for that one. But for the one coming up at the end of July, talk, if you could, just tell a little bit more about Mark's Ranch, in that it's not something that people often go to, where they don't necessarily say, I'm going to Toro Park and Mark's Ranch. They just say, I'm going to Toro Park. This is a great opportunity to get that piece of Monterey County history and park history up at this really unique location.
Yeah, it's a great location. The original Mark's Ranch, I want to say, was about 800 acres. Back in the early 2000s, the county purchased most of the property from the Big Sur Land Trust for a couple $1 million. Big Sur Land Trust retains approximately 60-ish acres of property there. They are also, the county then leases Mark's Ranch property back to Big Sur Land Trust. For both grazing efforts for fuel reduction, but then also a healthy soils initiative that they get through a federal grant to help our soils and environment out. And they'll be talking about that as well. But it's just, if you are like, you're going to Toro Park, rather than going through the front gate, you make that hard left that curves around and runs parallel to Highway 68, and there's a gate right there, and you will see where it goes into the main field, and they'll have their vehicles parked there and staff there as well. But typically, you need to make reservations to tour the property. They only allow a handful of people in a day, so them opening this up and just you can make you can register so that they know you're coming, but it's not necessary on this day. So you can just show up. But yeah, it's a great time, and they will talk about the cultural aspects of the property, the original inhabitants of our property, the first people that lived on the land, as well as both the farming and the ranching history and how it came to be part of Toro Park. So it's the property that backs up to Las Palmas and the subdivisions along River Road. So it's all of those hills that you can see almost all the way to Pine Canyon.
So after they take their fantastic hike and bird watching and excursion there, come back down to Toro Park and just wrap up the rest of the day and have a good time.
Yep. All kinds of
Thank,
little giveaways everybody brings. We'll have parks specifically. I don't know what the other groups are bringing for their setup, but parks, we will have taxidermied animals from our environmental center out on display. One of which is a mountain lion inside a glass case. It's about 8 feet long. It's very impressive. The kids love it. We'll also have some taxidermy mounts of the local animals and local mammals, as well as some of the bird species there. But the mountain lion is not one to miss.
impressive. Bryan, thanks for being here to share all about it. We look forward to, having a good time with you all at the end of the month.
Thank you, Maya.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. See you then.